Hello, this is Vanlife Goodies, and today I'm going to tell you what I hate about my campervan. Actually, that's a little bit of clickbait because I actually love my campervan and I'm not ungrateful at all. I'm just going to share the things that I kind of have changed or would change if I could. Hello and welcome to Vanlife Goodies. If you're new to the channel, we're a family of 4 who travel in our T5 VW campervan, sharing our adventures and tips and tricks of van life. Don't forget to click the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a new video. Van life. Reality. So one of the things I did have, I'll put some footage in here, was some railings here. And predominantly these railings were to help my mum get in and out the campervan so she could step up and get into the campervan. And there's a number of problems with these railings. So the first problem was I had to pay to get them fitted. The second problem is they looked a mess all the time. They just looked mucky. They just collected all the dirt and they just looked a mess all the time. And the third most important problem is that Mum didn't feel safe standing on them because even though she was only a size 4, she couldn't get a full foot on the step. And so we ended up using a plastic step anyway. So they were just a waste of time. So these buffers, oh, the other thing is I used to scrape them. You know those traffic calming things that you have where the road narrows, they just scraped on that. So they just ended up being a bit of a pain, to be honest. So I got rid of them. So that's what I changed and then changed back again. So don't bother unless you want them that just look good. But these didn't even look good. They just look mucky all the time. A little bit of a top tip though is I ended up getting this for my mum. I'll show you. So what I ended up getting for Mum is this thing. You can just buy these. I'll stick a link below if you're interested. And we used to just open it up, put like a folding step on the floor. She'd hold on to this, but this slots into, I don't know if you can see, let me do it like this, into there, and then it's used as a handle. So Mum used to hold on to this, step on the step, and I'd kind of shove her in. Go on, I'll be grandma. Oh, oh, oh. She'd go, are you mocking me? Right, go on. Shove me in. Oh, oh, that's better. Coffee, please. Thanks, Macy.
You're welcome.
Make
sure you take it out before you shut the door.
Yeah, make sure you take it out. But they're dead handy because you can take them anywhere and they just help when you're getting out of the campervan because it's another thing to hold on to. So number 2, the thing that I've changed is my battery. So when I bought this campervan, it had a normal leisure battery and I since replaced the leisure battery. Now, one of the things I've learned about leisure batteries is in the cold weather, they lose their ability to be good. I'm just going to say it layman's terms. And I thought, is it worth investing in a lithium battery? Now, this lithium battery, I've bought cars cheaper than this lithium battery, so it wasn't cheap. So this is not a cheap option. However, I have to say, worth every penny. I don't have electricity anxiety. I haven't even got a solar panel anymore that works on it. It just works. We recently went away and we had the heater going all night, me and Dave, if you saw the last video, and I checked my lithium battery. It had the fridge going and the heater all night and it was still on something like 84% or 94%. It's just brilliant. The only problem is I've had to move it. Okay, so I'll just put this here so you can see. So my AGM battery or my leisure battery used to be in this bottom compartment, and the problem with this battery is that it's because it's bigger and wider, it's had to use a cupboard space. So I'd say that's kind of the only problem. I've gone for KS Energy after watching, I can't think the name of the guy, but he compared KS Energy with EcoFlow and this came out slightly better, only fractionally, but I decided to go for that. I got Rhino installs to install it. They were brilliant, very competitively priced, and it's absolutely been bob on. I just can't complain. I love it. The only thing is it has a little red light here, so I've had to tape like the cupboard there so that I can't see the light when I'm sleeping. But it is brilliant. I do lose a little bit of cupboard space. There's a lot of space that's wasted above it, but I think it probably needs that for ventilation. But this cupboard now is full of all sorts of junk. I'll show you. It goes all the way back. So, yeah, holds a lot if you can get to it. So another little story, no fault of my own. I was once driving down the road. I'll try and insert the footage here if I can find it. Driving down the road, and this gentleman had parked on his driveway, which was up a hill, forgotten to put his handbrake on, and the car rolled down the hill into the back of my van, and the rear wing or whatever needed changing. Thankfully, there was a chap behind me who had a dash cam. He got it all on camera, and I was able to send that off to the insurance, and we had no issues getting the work done. So it did make me think I need a dash cam. So I bought a cheap Aldi dash cam, set it up, filmed things. Eventually that packed in and never really replaced it. I've now been sent this from Viofo, which is a dash cam with a bit of a difference. I'm mega chuffed actually. I've just had it fitted. As soon as I turn the key, there's 3 channels that awaken. One is the visuals of the front of the van, the other is visuals of the rear of the van, and the third is visuals of the cab area inside the van, which is really exciting for me as a content creator, because sometimes there are things that happen inside the cab, things that are said, things that I'm filming, that I can't really get my camera out, and if there's no one there because it's unsafe if I'm driving, and if there's no one to hold the camera, or I haven't got it attached to something safely, I can't film what's going on in the cab. And this films it for me all the time, so I'm really excited by this. I think it's 2K imagery for the front and the rear, and 1080p for the internal. It just does everything really. It's got a memory card for me to just take out for the footage. It also has a Bluetooth thing that you can press, so if like you have an accident, you can Bluetooth, you press the thing and it kind of secures that recording so that you don't lose it. The A229 Plus is the first dash cam using dual Sony Stravis 2 IMAX 675 image sensors, and also has voice control, GPS, ultra fast Wi-Fi and infrared in the cab, so at night you can see what's happening. Has lots of features. I'll put a link below in the description if you're interested in having a look at the spec, but at the minute I'm really pleased, and I shall no doubt share lots of other footage of this dash cam as I go on my journeys. Inside the van, this is new. So I changed this because it didn't have anything there. It was just like bare, and I thought this is a wasted space. And this houses my towel, my toilet roll, my kitchen roll, all of my makeup and wash supplies, and other little bits and bats, jewellery when I take it off and such. So this was from Clear Cut Campers, and it's also been able to house my light here for extra light. But for me, this was brilliant. It wasn't that expensive, it was easy enough to fit, and it's just added so much extra storage without having to build in cupboards, which is more of a technical job, and I'm not very technical. So moving on to something that I would change if I could. I hope you can hear me because I have got my heater on because it's rather chilly outside. So something I would change if I could. Tell me what you think about this. The width of this bed, so this is a standard rock and roll bed with the side conversion in a VW T5. If I could, I would have changed the width of the bed, and I would have had the whole width of the camper van. Now, yes, that would have meant probably storage up top and all of the cooking stuff behind this seat, and I'm not quite sure how I would have done the layout. But when you sleep on this in winter, it's fine for 2 people because you cozy up and you're snuggly, and that's fine. But in summer, which is when you do most of your travelling and camping, it feels quite claustrophobic. It feels like not enough room. You just can't spread out, and it can get a bit hot for 2 people. Now, if it's 1 person, it's fine. But for 2 people, you know, I mean, I'm not like a size 8, am I? Let's face it, I'm like a normal human middle-aged woman, and so I have a bit of excess baggage, let's call it, and so therefore I would like a bigger bed. So if I could change anything, I would have changed the layout and had a bigger bed that took the full width of the camper van and managed the storage around that. So have you got one, and what would you change? Dave and I have discussed maybe getting an even better blow up mattress for the top, so that in summer one of us can sleep down the bottom, the other can sleep in the top, so that we have space to kind of spread out, you know, just for those very hot days. But we'll see how that goes. We're kind of going to work on that. But yeah, so that's something I would change. I'm probably not going to now because it's already fitted. But if you are kitting your van out, that is something I would really strongly consider. Because when you try these beds out, you literally pull it out, you lie on them and you go, yes, that's fine. But no one sleeps like this, do they? They kind of, you know, you spread. So yeah, so that's something I would change. So can you believe that I went to park in Aldi to do my shopping and a smart car reversed into me and smashed up the front of my van so badly it had to be all replaced. A smart car, you know, one of those half a car things. Anyway, so as a result of that, I got this fitted. This. Which means that if you decide to reverse into me, you will come off worse, not me. It wasn't expensive. I think it makes her look a bit harder, apart from the fact that when I beat my horn, she looks hard, but she sounds like that. So that's a bit embarrassing. So just don't beat your horn. But yeah, the bull bar. So that's something I've changed, more for safety, so that it doesn't, if someone bumps into me or if I bump into someone, it doesn't damage the van. But the other thing that's really quite, how can I put it? Interestingly, occasionally, the ANPR cameras don't pick up my reg because the bull bar's maybe slightly moved if I've gone into something and it's moved slightly. And, you know, weirdly, they just don't pick it up, like at the tip, you know, it seems to get the wrong reg and stuff. So, yeah, use that as you will. But anyway, it protects your van. So that's something I've changed too. Lastly, this is rather a personal conversation. I have done a whole video about it if you want more detail. But one of the things I have changed that I am so glad I did is my toilet. So I used to have a box here with one of those camping buckets in that kind of mixed everything, and you stick a bit of solution in it to stop the smell, which doesn't stop the smell. And when you lift the lid to use the loo, you kind of hold your breath because it's so gross. And the smell, I think, lingers in a small camper van. It's quite gross. And you have to get rid of the waste somewhere. So you need a campsite or you need a toilet somewhere to do it. So it's not ideal. And I got this composting toilet from Trillino, which doesn't look like a composting toilet. It's ideal for a seat. And it's great for standing on when I was trying to reach the roof of the camper van, although officially you're not meant to stand on it, of course, for safety reasons. But it's absolutely brilliant. And it's brilliant because it doesn't smell. And it's brilliant because you can get rid of waste more easily. And if you want to know why, it's because you separate the waste. And I'll go into more detail on my video, which I will link here or here. That's the one you need to go and watch if you want all the details. But that is something I've changed, and I'm really glad I have. Not just because of the waste issue and the smell issue, but also because I stick it there and it's another seat for someone. Not for when we're driving, but you know, like when you've got the table up and you don't want to turn this seat, you can just pull that up. So it's dead handy, and I use it as a table. If I'm sat there and Dave's sat there, we use it to stick our coffees on and stuff. So it's just very versatile. So if you want more information, go and watch that video. But that is definitely something I've changed that I'm really glad I did. So this is something I changed quite some time ago, and I actually wish I hadn't. I had this flexi solar panel fitted when I had just normal AGM leisure batteries. And it was when they first came out, and it worked for a while, I think. And the problem is it now doesn't work because solar panels need ventilation underneath. Now, I've heard they've apparently come a long way. And so I am thinking about maybe getting another one fitted. I'm not sure. But in the meantime, I'm left with this solar panel that looks a mess and doesn't work. And I now have a leisure battery, which means I need a different system in place to kind of connect to solar panel because it's a lithium battery. So this is something that I wish I hadn't got, because I don't think flexi solar panels were that good then. So if you get a flexi solar panel, do your research and make sure it's a good quality one that is going to last a long time, because they're kind of stuck to your van. The other thing is I could have had it slightly raised, but then I can't get under barriers that are like 2 metres. And if I can't get under barriers of 2 metres, there's no point me having a pop top. I might as well have a high top and have the extra storage. So it's a bit of a catch-22. At the minute, it suits me with a pop top because I can get under barriers, I can park anywhere, I can visit anywhere. But if I'm going to go bigger, then I might as well go bigger and just not bother and have a solid solar panel. So it wasn't really worth me having a solid one, which is why I went for the flexi ones. But that's something I would probably, with hindsight, would change. I do wonder whether the new ones would be better. Have you got a new flexi solar panel? Are they any better? Are they a waste of time? Do you need ventilation underneath? Tell me your experience, because I'm not a tech whiz at all, and I would be interested to know your opinion. I've heard it from the flexi panel people, and of course they're going to sell me it's better. But what about you? Have you got one? You know, let me know, because you're going to tell me the truth, aren't you? Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please click the like and subscribe if you would like to. It doesn't cost anything. And tell me what you hate about your camper van. Or no one hates it. I mean, 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto Wigan Road. No one hates it, let's face it. We love our camper vans. But what would you change, or what have you changed, and the reason why you've changed it, so that other people can consider this when they're doing their build or buying a camper van like I did. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time. Goodbye. Bye, Macy. I do feel like this is a bit of a wasted space, but I do think you probably need to kind of create some aeration, or, you know, just breathability. I'm not really making sense, am I? But I do think it probably needs a bit of space above it for a bit of, what's the word? I can't even think of the word. My mouth's just, my brain. 1, 2, 3.